All right, it's 18 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. Wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. It is hump day, and we're very happy to be here with you. Well, this morning we're talking about NGOs, and the NGO is having a fair that's coming up. We have with us this morning the CEO of the Cropper Foundation, who is here to just talk to us about NGO Fair Day. Right, don't worry about it. We're going to get into all the semantics so that you can understand what exactly is going on. One thing we know to start is that NGOs are important. Non-governmental organizations are critical to the survival of any society, is what I have to say. So good morning to you, Omar Mohammed.
Good early morning, Natalie. Thanks for having us.
I know. I like it. Good early morning.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a challenge, right?
I'm not sure how you'll do it every morning.
We haven't figured it out either. I think it's just love for what we do and understanding that we have a responsibility to the people. Similar to what you do at the Cropper Foundation. Yeah. So talk to us about this NGO Fair Day. What is it about?
Right. So as you said, NGOs are incredibly important. You know, everyone's lives are touched by several NGOs, even if they don't realize it or not.
Yeah.
On a daily basis, in many times. So World NGO Day was actually started in 2014 to do just that, celebrate and recognize the role of NGOs and also the people that in many cases, you know, toil, you know, day in and day out to deliver, you know, those really valuable missions. So we decided in 2022, you know, we've been virtual for so long, you know, we've been, you know, locked down and, you know, having a lot of issues coming out of that. So we thought, why not use this time to celebrate NGOs? We have, you know, virtual platforms where we could accommodate, you know, lots and lots of persons coming together in the spirit of Carnival to celebrate.
Well, you're talking about a fair, though. I remember in high school, when we had a fair, it was a shebang. It was just a flurry of activities that kept you busy and kept you entertained. Mm-hmm. So how are you going to be able to do that virtually? Well,
unfortunately, no live performances, but we will be having a 3-hour session on Monday 28th and Tuesday 1st of March, which is next week. And it's a 3-hour session that's going to have a couple of things. You're going to have some breakout sessions where they'll be able to do mini workshops on things like mental health in NGOs, because as you know, doing this work sometimes puts a lot of strain on your personal life. You know, you have burnout, etc. So we're going to explore some tips and tricks. You have some panel discussions with people from NGOs talking about their experiences. And then at the end of each day, we're going to have a parallel NGO showcase where we've invited 50 NGOs from all across the country to come and do sort of rapid fire speed dating about the work that they do. We're inviting participants to come ask questions about the work that these NGOs do, and then even figure out ways in which to get involved. So, you know, an NGO might talk about their work with homeless persons, and someone can say, oh, great, you know, can I volunteer? So we're hoping to set up some of those connections at the end of these 2 days to really give people an idea of, oh yeah, I didn't know this was happening. You know, I have some time now because of COVID. Yeah. This is probably a way for me to give back.
Why was it important to have this fair, though?
Because I think, especially over these last 2 years, you know, we've heard a lot about, as you're mentioning, St. Vincent de Paul, which is coming today, is just one of, you know, hundreds of NGOs in this country that have stepped in to fill that gap to really look after the people of this country. And I think in many cases, like many other situations like this, they're often taken for granted and sort of seen as just sort of background fabric of things. And I think really we need to appreciate the fact that without them, like you said, you know, thousands of people will be in a very precarious position.
Oh yeah, because I mean, talk to us about some of the goods and services that NGOs do. There are so many. There are a plethora of NGOs in this country. And I think it's from social services, education, mental health, disaster management. I mean, you name it and you all do it all.
So there are thousands of NGOs in this country. And like you said, they range from the people that go out at the end of every day and give food to the homeless, to people who take a much more high-level position. They're the ones that advocate for against gender-based violence. They're the ones that show up at the parliament. And you have this whole range in between. So like I said, it's really the fact that every part of someone's life is impacted by an NGO, whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
So it's important to celebrate and also provide a space for them to learn from one another, and even to understand, because, I mean, even in a small place like Trinidad and Tobago, things happen right next door to one another that you don't know. So we're hoping as well that this is a way for NGOs to also connect, to say, hey, oh, Natalee, I didn't know you all were doing that. Let's get together and see if we can maximize our impact.
So it's a huge networking opportunity for NGOs.
Yes, we're calling it Come and Connect. This is really designed by NGOs for NGOs.
Mm-hmm. But you're still inviting the public to,
of course,
to join and to participate at that level as well.
Yes, we would really like people to come, especially for that NGO showcase happening between 3 and 4 on both days, to really just come and sit back. You can jump between rooms if you would like. If you see a particular NGO that's really interesting to you, you can jump to that room, listen to them, ask some questions, and really, again, look for those opportunities to get involved.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a group in your area that you want to go and learn about, or you've grown up wanting to give back to a type of issue. This is your opportunity to learn and see what's really going on.
So talk to us about Monday and Tuesday. You spoke about 3 hours of, just getting into it, NGOs sharing notes, kind of doing a speed dating. What else will be happening on those 2 days?
So we've themed it. We've themed both days. So the first day is looking at mental health and self-care, which is important in any area, but especially NGOs where many times it's low paying, it's voluntary, you're dealing with some of the really heart-wrenching situations, so it does take a toll. So we're looking at very specific NGO-focused activities around building skills, learning tools and tricks on how to care for yourself and your team. And then in the second day, we're looking at optimizing your impact. So all NGOs, again, don't do this work to make a profit. We do it to have an impact on people, on beneficiaries, or the planet. So we're looking at, again, tips and tricks on how to describe your impact to donors, how to measure your impact, how to use your impact to communicate to your community, as well as having some expert presentations on the same 2 themes on both days as well.
I thought we'd have had a little session though towards support for the NGOs, because we know that's a perennial issue where you have NGOs out there doing human service, and just can't seem to get the kind of, especially financial support. Sometimes you'll get the volunteers, sometimes you can't, but in terms of just having the finances to be able to do the job that you need to do.
Yeah, so actually the second day, between 2 and 3, we're going to actually be having a funders panel. And so we're going to have representatives from the European Union, the Ministry of Social Development, and private sector to talk about what they normally require from NGOs in terms of describing impact, selling their story.
Yeah.
But this is also meant to be the kickoff of other activities during the year. And as you would see from some of the graphics, it's actually being sort of hosted by CSO Go, which is a new digital platform that's run by the Cropper Foundation with a ton of other partners. That's meant to be a digital space for NGOs. And that space is actually meant to provide a couple of things: a resources hub where you're going to have toolkits, you're going to find out about different funding opportunities. We're launching, hopefully next week, these things take time, an e-learning platform that's completely dedicated to NGO work.
Yeah.
So it's going to deliver training to NGOs on NGO-specific issues. So this is really meant to kick off a series of activities, hopefully beyond this year.
Why did the Cropper Foundation decide to get involved at this level?
Well, the Cropper Foundation, we've been around for 22 years. We've gone through, we were an NGO, of course, ourselves, and we've gone through all of the ups and downs that any NGO goes through. So we've come out the other side stronger and with a real sense of responsibility for trying to work with other NGOs to improve their situation as well.
Yeah.
And, fundamentally, our goal really is to, leave a better Caribbean. And this is just one of the ways that we think we can leverage our skills and experience to really deliver that.
So how do they get this CSO Go app? How do they become a part of this NGO Day Fair?
Right, so you can visit our social media, the Cropper Foundation, also our partners in this event, which is United Way, Families in Action, KAISO, and quite a number of others. You can visit their social media pages. We've also shared the graphics and the links across all of those. And then you can go to csogo.tt, so csogo.tt, to sign up as an NGO as well, to have access to some of these services, as well as to find information about the fair itself.
And all NGOs are invited?
All NGOs, community groups, faith-based organizations, social groups, anything. And also people, regular individuals who just want to learn more about the sector.
And what do you think will be the impact of having this NGO Day Fair?
I think having worked with NGOs for quite some time, they often say they just want to work together. They just want to figure out a way to scale up their impact, because these people are working day in and day out because they've identified a problem, and for some reason they want to provide a solution. So I'm hoping that, one, NGOs who participate link up with other NGOs and end up scaling up their work. I really want people who work in NGOs as well to understand that their self-care is important.
Yeah.
You can't just keep giving and giving and giving. You have to take care of yourself. So I'm hoping that people go away with simple tools and tricks to just maintain their own mental health.
And I think it's so important, especially when we see, coming out of the pandemic, how many people got affected by burnout, how many people, we saw increase in cases of anxiety and depression, just because there's so much pressure in adapting to something that you're unfamiliar with.
Yep. I mean, even myself, I had to sort of Google how to deal with burnout. I never thought about it as a young professional. And last year I had to Google, okay, count 10 deep breaths. And again, something as simple as that, which was really, situation changing for me. I hope it's just really an example of, some of these things that people would learn from NGOs during this fair, as well as maybe some larger things that they can use to get their teams, back up and running and delivering the impact that they're meant to deliver.
And I mean, depending on the kind of NGO or faith-based or community-based organization that you run and the services or goods that you provide, I am sure that there are a lot of people who are going to be looking forward to this. Because when you say it, I immediately thought of ITNAC. Because I know that with Avenel Hector Joseph is that the kind of work that ITNAC does, it's very hands-on, it's very on the ground, and I'm sure that it takes a lot out of them mentally and physically.
Yeah, so I think sometimes you just want a space where you can sometimes just vent and talk to people that understand what you're going to, because it's not a cause, as, again, like you said, the level of logistical work that takes. People like Sewa TT, the amount of work, and I think it's important for people to recognize that.
Yeah.
So I think if people, again, go to our social media, the Cropper Foundation, we're on every social media platform, plus our partners, as you would see in the logos, United Way, Families in Action, KAISO, Alliance of Rural Communities. You'll get links there as well. Or, like I said, visit csogo.tt.
Well, invite everybody to come to this
NGO
Fair Day.
NGOs, and again, NGOs from across Trinidad and Tobago, community groups, social groups, family groups, school groups, whatever. Come visit between 1 and 4. Treat it as a, middle of carnival relaxation period. And regular members of the public come between 3 and 4 in particular to learn about what up to 50 NGOs are doing in Trinidad and Tobago, and learn about ways that you can participate and get involved.
Do you need to have the app to sign up, or you can just go to csogott.com?
To attend the fair, you just have to register on Zoom, and you'll get a Zoom credential, a link, which you can then use to log in on either day 1 or day 2. You'll have to choose which day.
And that Zoom link will be available.
That Zoom link is available across all our social media platforms right now. And then for csogo.tt, if you're an NGO, you can sign up there as well, just to have access to everything that's coming after. And you can also go there to get the links to actually register for day 1 and day 2 of the NGO Fair.
Omar, I think this is definitely one of those events that will make a difference, because as you said, mental health is so important, and the work that NGOs do, I don't kid myself, I think I have a fairly good idea. I never do I volunteer once every blue moon, because when you volunteer 2 days, that I have to take a whole 3 weeks to catch myself. So congratulations on what Cropper Foundation is doing, and all the best come next week, Monday and Tuesday.
Thank you so much, Natalie.
You're most welcome. Omar Mohammed, there, CEO of the Cropper Foundation, talking to us. The NGO Day Fair, just to celebrate, honor, and recognize what NGOs do in this country. They're having that fair next week, Monday, Carnival Monday and Tuesday. And you can go to csogott.com for the NGOs to sign up and register, or go to the Cropper Foundation and you'll get on all the handles all the social media handles, and you'll be able to get that Zoom link so that if you want to participate, you can do so. We're going to take a break, but stay with us. We're coming back with lots more in the program.